Welcome to Gibwork in Progress. This is another kids video. And there's one thing I've always wanted to do, which was translate a child's drawing into 3 dimensions. So as we work with 3 dimensions, we have to learn a lot of things. So first, I need to create a child's drawing. So the most basic of all the child's drawings is a homescape, right? So we're going to do something like, oh, I don't know, a line here, a line here. And we want to draw like a house, right? So we're going to draw this little box right there. And then they usually do something like this, maybe a door, couple of windows, maybe a tree, and maybe some flowers. So we go like this, 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 and a line, and maybe this, and a line. And then we need something like clouds in the sky, so we're going to do some clouds. And where's your sun at? We got to put a sun up in there, so let's put a sun right there. And that's kind of a general kid's drawing, right? Maybe you put a person. We got to put a person here. Let's say it's mommy or daddy. I don't know. Who? Somebody right there. Okay, that's your typical kid's drawing right there. Right? So let's try to make this thing a little bit more 3-dimensional. Let's take it one more step down the road. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to rip it out. Okay. So things we need to cover right now is really we're just going to deal with the overlap and make this a little bit more 3-dimensional. So, of that, let's work on the house first. So the house usually starts with a brick or a square. And then we're going to bring this up to the end to a point. That's kind of where we started, right? Now, if you want to do 3-dimensional, you just bring it out just a little bit. Bring it out just a little bit. Drop it down just a little bit. Drop it down just a little bit. And all of a sudden now you have a 3-dimensional house. Let's try making a door and a window. Now, what else did we have? We had a tree. Now, trees can be in front of the world, and here we deal with overlapping. We're going to make it big, bigger, than the other ones. And let's put another tree back here. This is called overlapping. And all of a sudden, you can start seeing distance between the two. Right there. See? Now let's look at the flowers for a second. So we're going to look at perspective and flowers. What color do you want your flower? Oh, shoot. I'm just grabbing things out of middle of nowhere. So if this is the biggest thing, that's the medium thing, that's the smallest thing, you can kind of see a perspective going on there. But before we do that, let's put our sun back here on the top. Because without that sun, we don't know where the light is, right? There we go. Which way does it go? This way? This way? This way? And that way. Okay. So, if the sun's that way, we'll deal with shading in a second. We're going to have to deal with the lights and the darks. But let's put some flowers in there. Now, usually, kids will draw flowers like a circle. And that, and that, That's usually what kids will draw. But three-dimensionally, we gotta flatten things down, okay? So we're gonna go flat. We're gonna take that circle and make it an oval, and then we're gonna go back into space. And then we're gonna go back into space. Then we're gonna make it a little bit bigger. Then we're gonna make it a little bit bigger. Then we're gonna make it a little bit smaller. And all of a sudden, that thing starts looking like it's sitting on the screen, right? Sitting on the page. Okay. And we want a little bit of grass, maybe here, overlapping. Maybe a bush here. And where's the sun? Sun's here, dark's here. Sun's here, dark's here. Sun's here, dark's here. Dark, 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 dark. Dark, 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 dark. Same thing with the house. Now the house, that's going to be the darkest spot because the sun isn't touching it. And then right here, there's a lip. That lip is going to be really, really, really dark. So we're going to grab something like a black and make that really, 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 really dark. And maybe here, really dark. All of a sudden, we're starting to see this thing bounce back, right? Some yellow maybe. So with the sun, we got to make some lights. Because most drawing is where does the sun hit? That's all you're looking at. Where is my light? See? Now, we need some more flowers. So we're going to do some more flowers. Flatten oval. Back, back. Big one, big one, big one. There we go. And as you get further in the back, the less definition you need. The less you need to outline things. You know what's really funny about art? Is sometimes the less you draw, the more you get. Let's make that door like really orange. I don't know why. It just feels like it's something to do. There we go. A little bit of dark. And this side of the building, if you followed through with any mind, it's the shadow, so it needs to be darker than the rest. And I'm just throwing a bunch of colors in there. The thing with color is, and drawing in general, if you can't have fun, why are you doing it to begin with? Okay, now I need to put this thing on the ground, right? It's kind of floating up there. So we're going to go ahead and put a horizon. A horizon is when you look the furthest away in the world and all you see is just a flat nothing. One line right there. Now it's all sitting right there. And it's going to put another big bush right here. This is called overlapping. And that bush is going to tell me that this is in the foreground, this is in the background. Just like that. Nothing crazy. If I wanted to be crazy, I would probably drink more coffee. but you can kind of see as you go forward, once you start putting these things in, a little bit of color, a little bit of blue, all of a sudden, it's not a kid's drawing anymore. It's a three-dimensional drawing. We did miss the person. Let's put a person in there. I'm not going to make it more complex than that, but we're going to put him in there. We're going to put some guy right here. Really big. This is the basis of overlapping. The biggest it goes. Wow. You know why he's so big? Because he's got a camera. This is what old school cameras used to look like. Right there. Right there. And the closest it gets to you, the darker it is. And shore that up with a little bit of black because I'll be losing my lines. Shadow back down there. Outline here. And we're going to give him alien ears. Why not? Okay. And he needs a little bit of blush to make him that much more happier. And a silly face right there. So, what I was trying to show you was that if you flatten things, not a complete circle, but an oval, then you can always then you can start pushing things back towards the back, right? And the more you overlap things, all of a sudden it's three-dimensionally starting to set. Now we're missing our sky. Let's get some clouds. If one thing I've learned is if you don't make a dramatic skyscape, then you lost something, right? So let's go ahead and make some clouds. Clouds are easy. Clouds are just making big loops. 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 Big, 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 big loops. There you go. Now, just color that in. So like I say, I'm not trying to do anything perfect, but I just want to kind of show you how this goes, right? You take that, you pull back, you make it a three-dimensional shape by adding some additional lines. Add a couple of shadows to make sure that dark goes to dark. Here we go. And you kind of have sort of an idea, right? You got sort of your sun. It hits here with the yellow. It hits here with the yellow. Hits here with a yellow-green. And then it blends out over there. We got a tree in the background. We got a tree in the foreground. We got a dude in the foreground. And we learned how to squish things down, right? This is nothing but circles and loops. But when you squish those circles down, you get ovals, and those make three-dimensional objects. Drop shadow, and there we go. So just really quick, I just wanted to show you how you can do a little bit extra. Okay. Thank you.